This is Louie, and if you're in the market for some video games, head on over to Play Asia to pick yourself up some software for Black Friday or Cyber Monday or whatever other stupid holidays are happening this Thanksgiving weekend. If you don't know what to buy, think about picking up Frostpunk, which is a great simulation game, a survival horror game in the post-apocalypse where you're stuck in the frozen tundra and have to survive. I like it. It's a great game. It's very aesthetically pleasing. It's got rich lore and it has a lot of bang for your buck. It is worth a buy. Go pick it up for a deal at Play Asia. If you aren't into video games, head on over to J-List, where I'm sure they have some sort of weekend deal for this part of the year for Thanksgiving. If you watch this video and you are sick to death of thoughts, head on over to J-List and pick yourself up the means to get past the thought. As Andrew Ryan was to the parasite, J-List is to the thought. If you aren't interested in bypassing the thought, head over to my Patreon account and support me there. If you're wondering where the Patreon videos are for this month, don't worry, they're coming. They're coming soon. I'm working on 2 of them right now. But until then, support me on Patreon. If you don't want to visit these affiliate links, then I don't know what to tell you. Now's the time. There's a charity Saturday or some stupid new holiday. I'm the charity. Give me money. I am in desperate need to bypass the thought, and that requires money, so be sure to support me in whatever way that you can, but otherwise links can be found in the description. So this is Louie, and what this is going to be is me actually doing a commentary, and it's also going to be my Thanksgiving / 20K special. So happy Thanksgiving, welcome to the 20K special of this channel where I finally hit 20K, and I'm grateful for all of you that got me there. Help me out, support me on Patreon, support me by following my affiliate links, all that good stuff. This is just going to be a very laid-back, you'll love the video. If you haven't seen this video, and I'm sure many of you haven't, you're going to love this fucking video. And so I can guarantee you that right now. So, you know, put your feet up, crack open a cold one if you haven't already. Just enjoy this video for what it is and us going through it, because it's awesome. I will apologize, though, before we get to it, that I haven't really uploaded a lot this month. The annoying part of this month for me, and we'll get to the video in a second, the problem on my channel for this month was the lowly debate that I did between Sargon and Dank. Neither one of them really took it seriously, and I wanted them to. That's the unfortunate part of this, is that I overinvested and they did not invest at all in the discussions that we had. I gotta say that with Sargon, I'm more than willing to talk about it again, but it's from the standpoint that I know he doesn't really care. He doesn't take it seriously, and I don't think I'll be able to convince him of why I do. So, unfortunately, I don't really see any gain that I'm going to get out of that outside of doing a stream with him and us sparring, which I think is cool, and I like that. But I don't think he takes it in any way seriously. And with Dank, I know that he doesn't take it seriously, and I will say that I will not debate Dank again on the topic because he didn't act appropriately during or afterward with me. You can't try to claim that I was acting like a douche to you, and when I try to clarify it with you, you just fucking ignore me. So I gotta say that the conversation I had with Dank afterward left me with a bad taste in my mouth because of his actions. He claimed that I did something wrong to spurn him. I tried to clarify if there's any problem. He just fucking ignored me. So, you know, I like you, Dank, but you're kind of an asshole, dude. And I'll just leave it at that. But we're going to be talking about this, and it's going to be very laid back, like I said. So just enjoy this for what it is. What it is, this video, is I'm trying to think of a name of what, like a title for this. I'm thinking like the worst Asian, something like that. I'll try to come up with something funny. But it's basically this Asian roasty. So I'm going to try to see if I can find the definition of what a roasty is for those of you that don't know. But it is a girl that is in her 20s who sleeps with a bunch of guys, like a very loose woman. What she is a girl in her mid-20s who is coasting on her mid-level looks
But it's just the fact that she is sexually available. That is what makes her desirable, is she is willing to put out. That is who this girl is. She is not particularly good looking. She's average. She's not busty. She has a small chest. And she's just of normal build. She is not particularly fashionable with her ugly colored hair and her sort of like West Coast douchey hipster outfit. Like masculine yet just douchey outfit. Like there's nothing really about her that puts her above the average woman. It is just the fact that she puts out. That is what puts her above the herd, so to say. But this is the kind of girl, in my opinion, that once she hits 30, it's going to be like her hitting a brick wall. Because the older you get as a female, the less that you're able to rely on your looks. It then now relies on you to have a personality. Because you'll never be able to compete with the girls that are like you right now. There's always going to be girls that are sort of average looking that put out in their 20s. They aren't going anywhere. And that's who you're going to be competing with once you're 30. And you can no longer rely on your looks as you once did, and the fact that you're young. You don't have that anymore. Once you hit 30, you then have to create your own fashion, your own appearance. You have to then define yourself to make yourself different from all the other women. And part of that is going to be what you can then provide to the guy that is actually material. Or I should say not so much material, but what is not just you based on your appearance and your willingness to put out. It has to be, can you cook? Do you have money to bring to the table? Although for most guys that doesn't matter. But, you know, are you looking to marry? Are you looking to settle down? Are you willing to move? Are you looking to compromise? That to me is really the big thing is, are you willing to sacrifice in order to make a relationship work? And it be an actual relationship, not just you hooking up. This is the thing that I haven't really talked about much on my channel because it's a more abstract issue in relation to like gender politics that I don't really delve into much and I'm not really all that well read on. But I do know that specifically there are entire magazines and outlets online that you can find that are dedicated to this, of like the brick wall of 30 for women. Of you have to have your career, you have to, you know, work on a relationship if you don't already have it. Like, there's things that you now have to move on. Because if you don't hit it by 40, if you don't get what you want by 40, you're never getting it. That appears to be the case for a huge number of women. If you aren't already married, if you don't already have kids, if you don't already have a career, by 40, you aren't getting it. Period. And so 30 is the age in which women then have to take their lives seriously. With guys, it doesn't matter. There's different standards for men. And I'm sorry, it's not fair, but those are the standards. With men, as they get older, their options open up. Especially if they have a career. Their options explode in terms of dating much younger than you or dating near your age for women that are looking for a partner that then you can select from to, you know, find a good mother or whatever you're looking for as a man. For men, as they age, if they take their lives seriously, there's a lot more options that open up for them. But it also requires them to, you know, to some degree, to provide something for women. You have to have money, you have to have stability, you have to have something that you can offer them to make yourself attractive. Physical appearance matters, but, you know, it's the case of like somebody like Harvey Weinstein, you know, connections. The reason why that guy can manipulate women and do all kinds of evil things is because he has something to offer them. Young starlets that want to have a career, you have to go to him. You know, so with men, as they get older, even if they're ugly and the rest, so long as they got money and influence, connections, all the rest, that gives them, and I'm not saying it's fair or good or anything, I'm just saying that's how it is. It creates the opportunity for them to have more choice than they did as they were young and had no money and everything else. But with women, it's the opposite. When they get older, they are then put, like I said, at the age of 30, they are then put in a position where they have to rush. You got to get the career, you got to get the husband, you got to get the children, you got to get it all done. Because by the age of 40, if you don't have it, it's not fucking happening. Because there's a ton, and I'm not just saying this. Go online and look. There is a ton of shit that says that at the age of 40, it's over for women. You aren't having kids. You aren't having a man. You're too dysfunctional. You're not having a man. You know, the things that you want, you at age 30, boom, move. You got to go. You got to go. Because that's 10 years you got to get it all. Because if you don't have the career, the man, or the kid, by 40, boom, it's over. It is over. But anyways, I'm repeating myself. Let's get to this video of a girl, like I said, age 30. She's rocketing towards it. You're running out of time, baby. You're running out of time where you can coast on your average looks and your sloppy demeanor and your ugly personality. You are coasting on the fact that you are willing to fuck dudes. That is what you're relying on.
Are you hoping to find a match today?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping not to continue this pattern of very, very bad men.
So the first question she asks is not, like, I'm not going to take issue with it too much, although I could. The issue is that you know the answer to that question already. She knows the answer. The answer is yes. Most of these guys, even with all different standards, they're into her. They'd be willing to date her. And the difference is between all of them, whether they're more romantic in that they want a relationship, or they're the, you know, love them and leave them, however you would say that, hump and dump kind of guys, the bros, who want to fuck her and be done with her. And that's how they view her. And they will say whatever the fuck they have to get her in that position. The thing is that I don't really know very many guys, especially at my age, who don't eventually abandon that. Like, I knew a guy who I went to college with who was like that. He was like that throughout college, where he would just hook up with girls, fuck them, and dump them. He's now married. That kind of, I mean, I don't know, because I don't know that many guys to know whether this is true or not, but I would imagine that most guys grow out of that kind of mindset. I mean, not all do, but I would imagine many do. You act that way in your 20s, but by the time you're starting to reach your late 20s, and especially your 30s, you're kind of getting over just cheap sex and loose women and no relationships. Just, it's not really something that I think is going to bring you joy for that long. I mean, to me, I've never been like that, and I've never really understood why guys do that, because there's always a lot of drama with that kind of stance with women. You get laid in a way that I never did, and I never will, but I don't really think it really does much in terms of bringing joy to your life. It's just momentary satisfaction with a lot of drama around it. And it's also expensive. That's another thing which I don't like. So I don't really understand it, but I think that with most guys, especially if they get a career, I really don't think that can last. I have to imagine that life pushes them out of that habit. In this scenario, she doesn't care who she's dealing with. Like, she already started this by saying, like, oh, I have to stop dating bad guys. The problem is that you're dating dudes that are just looking to fuck you, and you're willing to do that, and then they're willing to end the relationship. Because that's all they're looking for in that relationship. They're just looking to bang you, and that's it. And that's all you ask of them. Really, this is reciprocal. You allow them to do that, and that's all they want. So those are the relationships that you're getting. Those are the men you're attracting. This is one of the big issues with women in their 20s, honestly, speaking generally. They can abuse this, and then they complain. Like, oh, my relationships aren't working. Well, it is the men, yes, but not all men are like that. There's plenty that are not like that. And what you have to do is attract the men that aren't going to be like that in a relationship. So she has way more power in this in terms of discrimination of who she dates. So do men. But as a woman under 20, she has a greater ability to discriminate in terms of who she dates than the men that are around her. Because all the men want to bang her. All the men want to bang her. They're all attracted to her. It's about who she chooses in the end. Okay, so I was wrong. Not all the men want to bang her. I was wrong. I'll admit it. I haven't watched this video in a while, okay? I forgot that guys left at the beginning of this. I mean, I would, like, take one of their places. Sit me down. At least for right now. We'll watch what happens, but for right now, sit me down. I'd be willing to date her. It would just have to be, like, straight up from the beginning, listen, you know, you got to take this fucking seriously. You look like somebody and you act like somebody that is not going to take this relationship seriously. And this is, like, I'm not into hookup culture, just to be clear. Like, I'm no prize, I get that. But the thing is, I mean, I'm becoming one now that I'm garnering more money. But the thing is that I just need to know from the beginning whether this is going to be a hookup or whether this is going to be an actual relationship. Because I had one bad relationship of the few I had where that was the thing. The other party involved, the girl involved, did not take the relationship seriously. It was like, oh, okay, are we dating or fucking what? Like, I need you to explain to me what's going on. Because, well, to make a long story short, all you do is hang out with your friends. You don't hang out with me. We don't do anything together. Like, are we still in a relationship? Like, what the hell's going on? And I'm not going through that a second time. Like, that was terrible.
I love to dance, so I don't like it when I'm with somebody who's a total Debbie Downer or boring and just kind of stands there and doesn't want to dance.
So here's where I would probably be axed out of this, or maybe I'd lie. Because I don't dance well. I never went to clubs. I went to a few parties, but it was for me to talk to people and socialize, and I enjoyed the hell out of that, socializing with people. But I never really danced, and I was never really into going to clubs because of expense. And because I knew guys that would go to clubs and spend like hundreds of dollars. Like, I don't even know what the fuck they buy. I'd imagine it was alcohol, but I knew guys that would spend hundreds of dollars when they go to clubs on the weekends with girls, and it's like, there is no girl in the world that I would spend that much. Like, you can go to Vegas or wherever in the world to get a prostitute for less money that would be way more attractive than the girl you're going with at the club. To me, it just makes no practical sense, because especially if it's just hookup shit, why are you spending hundreds of dollars? It doesn't make any sense to me. I get it. You're getting laid. I'm not. I get it. But still, I'm still saving hundreds of dollars. I don't get it. But so, again, I'm just going to lie here. So I'm still in the game, baby. I'm still in it. I'm just going to lie, or maybe not say anything. So yeah, that's gonna be me. That's gonna be me, because I'm not a club hopper. I'm not a bar scene guy. You know, I don't mind going out to a bar or whatever, but like, I'm just not a dancer. So I guess this would be like the first fucking round I'd be out. And I like the guy that's leaving. I feel you, man. I'm with you there, bro. You and I guess we're just boring to this girl. But hey, I mean, I don't know what to say. It's just, it wasn't my scene. And I know the thing with girls is that this is, like I said, this is a very specific kind of girl. I've already said as much. There's plenty of girls that are also just wallflowers, so to say, okay? So I'm more than willing to defend this guy who's walking away right now.
I would definitely want someone open-minded but not a freak. So you shouldn't be into feet, but you know, a little chopping's a little fun. Well, you know.
What you got to appreciate in this, if you pay attention to the side, is the shit posting going on in this feed. And this is what I love about guys. You know, the thing is that I don't have that many friends anymore that I hang out with, really. It's really a thing that I should improve about my life, is that I spend a little bit too much time in isolation. But this is one of the best parts of being a guy and hanging out with just guys, is the banter, the bullshit, the memeing. But like I said, pay attention to the memeing going on in the actual chat here. The reason why I don't think anyone left is because everyone was fucking confused. Like, I don't... She was like, I like to be choked, but I don't want to be choked that hard. Half the guys there were probably, okay, whatever, bitch. Okay, I'll put my hand around your neck when we fuck. Like, I don't even understand what the fuck you're asking. I didn't follow at all what she was requesting. And I don't think anyone sitting there did either. Like, okay, you want some weird shit when we're fucking? Whatever. And the thing about the feet, she didn't even specify that either. Like, I don't think anyone there understood exactly what she was asking for. It's like, okay, whatever. Okay, I'm still sitting here. I legitimately don't know what you're asking. We'll figure it out later when we're fucking.
I do like them tall because I'm pretty tall for an Asian girl. And when I put on my heels, I would like to still be shorter than my man. So they need to be, I think, at least 5'11", but I prefer like 6 feet.
So I'm already technically out of this. I'm 5'10", and I know that there's a lot of bullshitters out there that claim to be taller. I run into too many men in just my daily life that are shorter than me to believe any of you that all claim to be over 6 foot. Everyone online says that they're over 6 foot, and I don't believe any of you. You're probably fucking 5'5". That's my opinion, because there's a lot of... It's easy to fucking lie behind an anonymous account. I am 5'10". I will tell you that. I am 5'10". Okay? I am more than willing to say that because I know there are plenty of men shorter than me. So don't bullshit me. And unfortunately with her, this is one of the things with height with men. I'm sorry, babe, but there's a lot of short men. There's a lot of men that are average height 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", 5'11". Like 5'11" is high for the average guy. I'd have to look up the statistics on that, but I have run into too many men of many different ages that are not 6 foot tall. They are not 6 foot. They're right around my height or shorter. That is the average fucking guy. So I'm just going to pause this to point out this dude, YJ Gold, who says she about to Thanos us. Oh God. Like I said, I'm telling you that just from being in life, from just being in the public and being around other guys, there are millions, tens of millions of men that are under 5'9". Millions and millions of them. Like most men that I've run into in my life are either an inch or two shorter than me or my height or an inch or two taller. Like 6 foot and under is average. Most men are not over 6 foot. There's no way. There's no way. Just, it's not what I've experienced. Maybe somewhere, where the fuck ever in the country it's true, but not where I'm at.
I would not want to be with somebody who wants kids within 7 years. Who wants kids within 7 years?
So here we are in round 4. Round 4 with 9 dudes left. Is it 9? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's 9. 9 guys. 9 guys out of 20. And so much of this was just height. And the thing is that I'm more than willing to defend her in terms of height because if she's tall for a girl, height is going to matter. Because I do think that there's a biological basis for height. The thing is, though, is you're too specific. You are too picky. You are too picky. And again, I just want to remind you that someday, babe, you're going to hit 30. And then that whole thing of you snapping your fingers and Thanosing all these guys away because they're under 6 foot, that ain't gonna play. It ain't. You're gonna have to go against your biological, clock or attraction in that way, because by then your clock's gonna be ticking down to when you won't be having kids. And biology is a heavy part of this. It's a heavy part of the human dynamic of sex and relationships. Biology means a lot. It really does. It's amazing to me, the science on this, and how much of it is just biology. It is not culture. The whole thing about, especially with the whole, getting men into fat women and all that, it's impossible. You can go ahead and try to clockwork orange your way into men, you trying to format the minds of men to be into fat women. It's always going to be a minority, a small minority of men that are into fat women. And I am not into even chubby women, like dumpy women. I am not even into those kind of women. So maybe I'm too picky compared to most men, but when you're already chubby, I'm turned off. When you're fat, it's not happening. I'm not dating you, because I'm not going to watch your life completely deteriorate once you hit the age of fucking 40. And you're on insulin, you're getting your toes chopped off and shit, and you're dead by age 55, if even that. I'm not ever dealing with that shit. Ever. The thing is that I like I already said, I know I'm no prize. I'm not fat. But I need to, work out more, as I've continued to say. But the thing is that there are different standards. That's the issue. There's different standards between men and women. And the thing is that even if I were fat, or just somewhat overweight, the fact is I got money. You could spend the rest of your life sitting on your ass doing housework. I could pay for both of us. I have that money now. So this is the thing. Are you willing to accept me the way that I am, not being much of a prize, to have that easy lifestyle? Or are you going to continue to play the game, roll the dice, do the dating game, spend the time, waste your years, and then be in a position where you are age 35 or so and more desperate than ever in your life to not get laid, but to get in a relationship, to find a man to marry? Because I can tell you that looking at the spinsters, the comedian spinsters or any other type, the Mediaite spinsters, they're fucking crazy. They're crazy. They are legitimately like defective people. Like, they have lost their minds. Anytime you see it online of these women in their 50s or late 40s, 50s, who are parading around naked, I'm no psychiatrist. That's all to do with them being lonely spinsters at their age. That is 100%, I am beyond desperate. Please find me attractive. I need a man to marry. That's my armchair psychiatry right there. Because it's too frequent to ignore, in my opinion, of how many spinsters you see that are age 40, 50, who run around naked and claim and say it's activism. No, it's not. It's you being desperate and your biological clock basically snapping in half. Sorry, but it's true, in my opinion anyways.
I love kids. I've been an aunt since I was 10, so I'm like a natural around babies and kids. But I want to really just share a love with somebody that's so great, and it's all about loving each other before we can, bring somebody else in the world.
So I can tell you right now that at this point in my life, and this has pretty much always been true for me, but and it's why pretty much like I've always kind of looked at dating as just kind of an abyss, because there's a lot of women like that in their 20s. A lot. That's just been my experience. Maybe those of you have... And the thing is, I know men that have gotten married and had kids in their early 20s and all that sort of thing. But I don't know. It's just been my experience of women either have, an out-of-wedlock kid in their 20s, or they do not want kids. And the thing is that when you're in a long relationship and from the get-go a girl tells you, I don't want kids, in the next 7 years, next 10 years, that is a gamble. That is a gamble, man. If you don't want kids, I guess that's fine, but I'm not on board with that. Like, if some girl told me that, I'd be like, okay, then this isn't going to work. Like, if you said the next 5 years, like, I'm just afraid, like, I'm more than willing to understand that and sympathize with that, empathize with that. But the thing is that when you just say, I'm not interested in kids, I'm not even willing to talk about it for 7 years, it's like, then I don't think you ever want kids. And in that case, it's like, okay, this isn't going to work. As I said, maybe I've just had, like, bad experiences, and I've just met too many women that are kind of like this in their 20s, where it's that same kind of dismissive attitude of, I just don't want kids. I'm not interested. I have to focus on my own life and myself, my career, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, I guess this isn't even worth bothering with. But I think that this kind of mindset for most women dies by the age of 30. I think that most women, this kind of attitude dies. And the thing is, I do believe that it is a majority of women that hold this attitude, especially in their early 20s. I believe it is a majority of women. But by the late 20s, I have to imagine it's dead. Because I'm telling you, biology, man, it's no joke. I'm not trying to make a pithy joke out of this. It's real. The biological clock for a woman is real. And by the late 20s, man, it is screaming that they need to get married, they need to have kids. And the thing is like I already said, I'm not fooling around with girls that are either already have kids or would be willing to have kids out of wedlock. I would not even go near that. I'm trying to remember. I had a friend of mine who dated a girl. I think I met him at community college. I haven't talked to him for quite a while. He dated a girl there who was at that college, or on that campus, I should say, and she was willing to have a kid with him out of wedlock, and maybe this is just my Catholic upbringing, but I said to him, dude, you're fucking insane if you'd ever do that. If you'd have a kid out of wedlock, like, you're fucking crazy. And I said to him, dude, like, what do you think it's going to do to the kid? Like, especially if you don't stick around or you break up or whatever, like, what do you think you're going to be doing to that child? It's been one of the things in my life I've never really been comfortable with. Like, I'm not trying to dump on anybody for moral reasons for having kids out of wedlock, but I've always looked at it, like, with a side eye and saying, like, it's not a good thing to do, because you're very likely to break up at that point. And, there's divorce and all that, but I just think it's a gamble not worth taking, and in the end, you're going to be potentially destroying a kid's life, and I really take an issue with that. I think that's kind of morally wrong for someone to do.
I think you should be mentally stable as well, financially stable, because you're going to be responsible for shaping their future. It's kind of a big pressure, because you could really fuck somebody up in the head if you're not there, and I take that really seriously.
If the relationship starts now, 7 years is a long relationship to be in. To not even think about kids. 7 years in a relationship and you don't have kids? I don't know. I've met people that have been in relationships for like 10 years without being married. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Like, if you're in a relationship by like a few years, you should be able to figure out whether you want to marry this person or not. I can't imagine being in a relationship for years and years. And the thing is, I've never been in that long of a relationship, so maybe I'm speaking from inexperience, but I can't imagine being in a relationship for that long and not already being married at that point. 7 years. 7 years. And you're not married? You don't already have kids in that amount of time? That's a long time. Maybe that's just my standard and I'm speaking from inexperience.
You know what? I have a younger brother, and anybody younger than me, I just automatically think of my brother, so. Like, they could be the hottest person in the room, and if they tell me they're even a month younger than me, I'm just like, oh, I just see my brother, and it's like, oh, would not date my brother.
He's 24. Okay, sorry, I screwed this up. So I'm going to start this again because I screwed it up. Okay, so the brother's 24. She's 26. It doesn't make much sense, but again, it's this arbitrary standard that she's setting. By 26, most guys have a job that they're serious about. I kind of do, I do my job. I take it seriously. It's not a career, in my opinion. It's way too stressful and damaging to my health to be a career, in my opinion. But it's a serious job, and I'm making, you know, fairly serious money to the extent that I can buy a house, and now I'm just thinking about, you know, appliances and that I'm going to be putting in it. But by 26, dude, you're 26. Like, bitch, what do you want? Do you want a guy that's going to take this relationship seriously? Well, then you can't be the way you are at age 26, bro. Okay, I'm 28. I would never fucking... Like, you would already have told me to leave. I'd already be invalid as a you know, a man in this relationship. I'm 2 years older than you, and you act like you're fucking 18. Like, the standards you hold are impossible. But let's just watch.
You're gonna be single for a while.
That was rude.
Girl, you're fucking 26. What do you expect? You're not 21 anymore. You're not the fresh face on the fucking block anymore. You're reaching 30. Like, it's amazing. Like, the face of, like, oh, I'm so shocked. Like, what do you expect? What do you expect? You are almost 30. Most women by now, I believe, I'd have to look it up what the average, you know, age a woman has a kid at, but a lot of women, millions of women of my generation already have fucking kids by this age. Like, right around 30 is when every woman either is going to have a kid or they don't. And the thing is with women, again, like, as men get older, they have more choices, not less. You have less choices. This is the thing, though, is that no one has actually sat this girl down and has said to her, listen, you're almost 30. You're no longer the pretty trophy girl. You're no longer the hump and dump girl. You're a 26-year-old roasty. Every guy can fucking see it. The way you dress, the way you look, the way you act, everyone sees you as a thought. Every guy sees that. It's not attractive other than for guys that just want to bang you and be done with you. That's the only kind of guy that's going to see you as attractive. You're 26! You need to turn from this into a housewife. This is the transition you need to make in order to attract guys. Because you are now older. You're old. Like the fucking, the Australian guy in that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
You're getting old, John.
You're old, Tiffany. You're old. You're no longer at your peak age. You're no longer at your peak attractiveness. You're no longer at the age where this prissy little, you know, thought attitude is going to attract men. That was age 21. You're well past that. You need to grow up. You need to get serious. You need to stop being so hyper-specific about what kind of guy you want. Because at your age, you had 20 chances. You had 20 guys. 2 of them walked away, but that could have been because of your personality from the get-go, because you scream thought just from your bare appearance. You don't even have to say anything. Everyone knows you're a thought. But the thing is that immediately it should have clicked with you. I can't be like this anymore. I'm not 21 years old anymore. You're fucking 26 and you don't want kids for 7 years? Like, Jesus Christ, you're going to be practically 40 and still questioning whether you want to have kids or not. You need to think about the fact that, again, you need to transition from a thought to a housewife. That is just the fact of the matter. By age 30, this is the moment in time where you can no longer be yourself anymore. You now have to accommodate men, not the other way around.
How many guys did you think would be left?
I thought there would be maybe 4 guys left, but there were none. So today I learned that my criteria is not I guess, easy as I thought it was. But I'm okay with that because I don't, like, these are values and things that I don't want to bend and change right now, so.
You're 26! You're like, oh, I'm a party girl, I like to drink. You're 26! Does this bitch have a father? Does she have a mother? Does she have, like, she has a brother? Like, go to someone in your family and just ask why, and they will fucking tell you. Ask me, I will fucking tell you. Like, ask for the honest opinion of most people who have any semblance of, like, again, I don't even have that much dating experience. I don't even have that much experience with women. I know this. I know this. You're 26 years old, and you are the club THOT. You're too old now, baby. You're too old. You gotta wake up again. Like you're not all that attractive. Being real, you're average. Honestly, you're average. If you did something with your hair, did something with your fashion, and just cleaned yourself, like put a little bit more effort into your appearance, you would probably be around, I'd say, an 8.5. You'd be around an 8.5 in my opinion. I honestly don't think you have it to be a 9 in my point of view. Maybe I'm wrong and the stylist can come in and clean you up something fierce. But the thing is that you just don't get it. You again, average appearance, average body, and also smaller bust and lower bust. Ugly hair. Very thrown together appearance. Like you're not well put together in terms of your fashion. You're not that attractive in terms of your fashion, your body, your face, your hair especially is ugly. You're just not that attractive. You overestimate how attractive you are. And it is just because, like I said at the beginning of this, you are willing to fuck any guy. If he's 6 foot tall and whatever other bullshit and he bangs you, you think that justifies who you are now. And that's not true. You now experience what you're going to experience from 30 onwards. At age 30 and onwards, you're going to have to turn from THOT to housewife, or you're not going to get any dudes.
I used to really beat myself up in my past relationships after they ended because I felt like I wasn't good enough. But I think I'm at a place in my life right now where I know what I want and there's nothing wrong with having these standards. You shouldn't have to bend your values and what you want to please somebody else.
You don't have any fucking values, you THOT. You don't, what were your values? You're a party girl, you're a club hopper, you're a THOT. You don't have any values. You just said that you aren't interested in kids. What kind of fucking standards of those? For most men, especially at your age, you're completely out of your mind. And this is where the video ends, where she's just sitting alone. Well, guess what? That's your fucking future. That is your fucking future if you don't radically change yourself. Okay, I'll leave it there because I've been talking for almost a fucking hour and I'm going to have to edit this down. I'm hoping that most of you enjoyed this and and had a good laugh. I've been actually saving this video for quite a while now because I wanted to react to it. Because I rarely talk about gender politics, but I wanted to in this instance just because it's more laid back and it's easier to do in my opinion. But that I think it's worth talking about, especially as it is now where I'm just waiting for my bank to contact me so I can close on my new house. And after that, I'll be moving in and, buying appliances, buying furniture, buying all the things to fully furnish a house and all that sort of thing. And I'm 28 years old and I'll already have, and this is the thing, like I have a job, I have a hobby, I don't have much of a social life, I'm not in great physical shape, but I have all the things necessary to start a family. That's where I'm at age 28. I have all the things that are required in order to start a family. What do you have? This is the thing about you being willing to dismiss me in round one. Chick, you are 2 years younger than me. 2 years younger than I am. What do you have to bring to the table to me? Because by age 30, for the two of us, I'm 32, you're 30, I'm not gonna be in a relationship with you. I'm not gonna date you. I'm never gonna marry you. You have to come to the table with something. You are now at that age, baby. You are now at that age where you got to be coming to the table with something to offer me. Can you cook? Can you clean? Can you clean my house? Can you cook me food on my stove for my dinner table? What can you do for me? That is the age you're at, and that's the thing you have to start thinking about. You can't just be the club thought. You have to be the housewife. You have to be. There's no choice in the matter. You can go and whatever. You can choose whatever route you want to, but the thing is I guarantee you don't have a career. I guarantee you don't have a career. You would have talked about that if you had one. You didn't, because you don't have one. You just have some bummy job that you go to. And guess what? Even if you had a career, you can focus on that and spend the rest of your life investing in that, but that's not going to bring you happiness by all appearances. Some women are entrepreneurial and they do well in the business market and they can still have everything going for them and have a family as well, but they understand this. They get it. You're beyond that point. You're not that type of woman. You're not. So the question is going to be when you're going to realize this and what you can bring to the table to offer men. I guarantee this. Any date she goes on, the guys are going to be picking her to see what she can offer them at her age. I guarantee you that. And that whole thing about, oh, I'm on this 7-year fucking respite from having kids, guarantee you that most men at that age, at age 30, are going to be like, bye. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. That whole 7-year bullshit. Oh yeah, I'll be in a relationship with you for nearly a decade. I'm not interested in kids. Okay. Okay, let's see how many men you get on the hook with that shit. That aren't in their 20s. You know what I mean? That aren't 22, 24, whatever. That aren't taking life seriously at all. But age 28, age 26, most men have been out of college if they even went to college for years. Okay? I don't know what to say. I'll leave it there. Thanks for listening. Enjoy your Thanksgiving.